Greetings, tabletop addicts and adventurers in recovery. My name is Stubby, and I'm joined by my co-host and partner in everything chaotic and critical, Gygis, and this is Talking Crit. Today, we're breaking down episode 7, On the Scent. But before we dive into that, we wanted to take a moment to kind of show some appreciation and kind of shout out our viewers and our commenters, the ones that have kind of supported us and helped us where we are so far. Um, the first one I wanted to shout out was on Reddit. He kind of commented. They commented on our last post on Reddit for episode 6. They are named Not a Doctor 1113. They pointed out a very cool thing that we totally missed and I wish we would have seen. There was a major mirroring in scenes in episode 6 where we had the cold open with Valus and Octus talking about memories and how like Valus has like kind of this ability to have permanent memories and not lose memories, and how she's remembered this childhood thought of hers over and over and over again almost every night. And then looks across at Octus where they both have this eternal life in common together. But then in another scene where we have Thimble and Cadigan, two mortal beings, that they are presented with a hag who gives them a memory for a memory, essentially. And Thimble gives up the memory of why she called Thiazi Thaz. And it was kind of a mirroring there of like immortal lives with immortal memories and mortal lives with fleeting memories. And I just thought that was a very cool
Parallel?
yeah, very cool parallel, but also a really awesome catch by Not a Doctor. It's spelled like Not the Brave from season 2, or campaign 2, sorry. Um, and then I want to go through. We're gonna try and do this more often. So There's gonna be a lot of comments right now, and we may have a lot of comments later on. But I'm gonna be going through a couple
And
of different
please
episodes.
comment
Yes,
and
please,
critique
please,
us
please.
because the more that you do, the more we know and the better we can become.
Exactly. Which for that, let me start with someone that honestly I think really kind of boosted our spirits really early on. Which I mean we're still early on, but literally like I think episode 3, uh, uh, at Bree 2842, had she was the one that kind of said a lot of really positive things to us, saying that she really liked what we do, that like Talking Crit's the perfect name for what we're doing and everything. And I just wanted to shout her out because she kind of gave me some motivation in all of this. Kind of told me that we're doing at least something, you know.
Yeah.
And
It was a very heartfelt and thorough response. Like it was it was like a whole page worth, and
yeah,
that
and then
means a lot to us.
yeah, and then half of that page was kind of something that changed our show permanently. Was she put the 2 cents that the scripted parts of our show did not feel very natural, did not it just kind of felt off, and we changed that. We stopped doing scripted. We have our like kind of what I do for an intro at the beginning, what you do for the outro at the end, but that's about it. We don't do a full on scripted bit at the beginning and end anymore.
Yeah, we kind of
Um,
have our shtick that we're sticking to, but
yeah,
other than that, yeah, we're gonna be as genuine about this as we possibly can. So
exactly.
the little mess ups, our successes, and all of that, it's here.
Yes, yes. And then on the same episode, we had Alexander White comment talking about the kind of the connection between Abria's character Taisha and how the old ways and everything was supposed to be kind of a connection to African and African American heritage and culture. And I think that was a very cool observation that honestly made me enjoy Taisha a lot more because it gave a little bit more understanding to why Taisha is, you know? And before it seemed like it was like she was being extra for no reason, but no, she was being extra because this was her slice of the campaign that honestly no one else in the campaign could represent. So she did have to kind of step up and do a little extra to make it represented because like I mean Brennan as a white man like couldn't speak for that. So like I mean Taisha had or Abria had to. So it
Right,
made it made
right,
made
right.
things
Yes.
make a little bit more sense in that matter. Um, but then on one of our most active commenters, someone that's kind of hit us a couple times, is Oofish 2. Um, she's kind of came in on two different episodes. Once on episode 4, she kind of gave us the one. She chimed in about our take on the birds of the nightingale birds and the undead fairies. Um, she had a different take on that, which I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like not to be the sandpaper there, I still disagree with, but to each their own on whenever it comes to the metaphors of the world of Brennan Lee Mulligan, especially whenever it comes to birds. He's obsessed with birds. Um,
And I'm being so silent right now. Sorry that I'm not saying too much. But I am kind of just following at this point because there's so many points of interest and there's so many like avenues of thought that we can go down right now that I have multiple thoughts as well too. So it's like, okay, I love Stubby's thoughts and I love Oofish, if we're saying your name right. I love
right,
your
right.
thoughts as well too. So I'm just here. I'm just I'm studying all avenues of thoughts right now. So it's all interesting to me.
Right. But then they also, uh, on episode 4, gave us, or no, sorry. They gave us the insight that Octus, uh, is not a revenant because that's what I said anyways, was I believe that he was a revenant. But they pointed out that a hollow one, made more sense because it's a player character version, which I agree. I give them that. And then they also correct us on episode 5, where we admittedly kind of leaned on Aloy because of video games. Whenever it's Loy, um,
Mhm.
but that is our mistake. Video games, diehards. It was just a common last name that's used in the games, and like Horizon Zero Dawn stuff like that. But it is Loy, just to make that clear. But that was all of the major comments. Like we've commented on the video, and we've had other like random stuff that was just really not constructive to this. Um, but that was really all. If you guys please continue commenting, give us criticisms, your insights on what you think things actually mean, because we could be completely wrong. We're just a couple of dudes trying to piece
We're just
together
a couple
what.
of dudes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So and
but
from me as well, thank you so much because being a part of something like this, as little as it is right now, I hope it grows. But it's so heartwarming to actually see people commenting and not just like a simple comment but like an actual criticism a critique because that tells me that you're actually paying attention to what we're saying.
and you want to be a
It's
part
not
of
like you're
this.
just skimming over it, but yeah, that's fantastic, and I
Yeah.
hope that
And
you
and
enjoy us as people because we enjoy you.
yeah. And So, as we've done, let's get right into this episode. Um, where we open up with the cold open. Let's break down this Pentevril scene that's kind of multi-layered. um,
Oh, there's always layers.
there's always layers with Brennan Lee Mulligan. Always. We have Cora. Say it again for
Keplin
me.
Weisrick.
Keplin Weisrick. Thank you. Um, is the new dean that's taking over after Tall Barrel has now had to step down because now the Sundered Houses have started to step in to try and kind of take control over uh, the going-ons of the Pentevril. Murray is kind of disgusted by everything that's going on because Cora is trying to give this kind of speech of many layered metaphors of the number 5 and how important it is and how she's the 5th dean at the Pentevril, making her very important. How
The five fingers.
five fingers, and that did not go well for Murray, as whenever the five fingers reference comes up, we get a big old scoff from Murray, and a message immediately spawns in her mind from Cora, demanding that she come to the office after the ceremony, and then the where we are. From there, we move over to the
The Arcanod.
Yes, where we have Bolaire giving this kind of I guess a tour of sorts to the Lady Cormorant, um, and actually we find out that the pariah blades that are on display are not the true and real pariah blades, that they're just replicas, which I mean makes sense. You don't want the real things
Surprise,
left out, so anyone,
surprise.
yeah, you don't want the real things left out so anyone can just touch them, right? Especially these magical,
Right.
powerful, god-killing objects, right?
Yeah. I mean, what if someone were to protest?
Right. And right. And then Belair offers to let her see the real one, trying to see what her reaction is. But in return, she actually shows her true interests in or not in the pariah blades, but are actually in the other,
Bless you.
well, the other weapons that were used to kill the gods, specifically the ones that killed the trickster god Rowan. And this is where I actually have a kind of a theory. I think maybe Cormorant knows a little bit about Belair. I think they suspect that Belair is one of the masks that were a part of the play that killed Rowan. What they know, I don't know. But I believe they have a little bit more information than Belair likes them to know.
Probably is aware that they know, but is unhappy about that.
Well, maybe not even that, because, like, as far as we know about Belair is that he believes, as far as I know, he believes no one knows about this. That he's, like, really the only person that could know.
Well, it was made very clear earlier that Belair is very based in, at least thematically, half truths.
Yeah. Which, right, he
So
could be.
I'm-
It could. And again, that's this whole campaign. It's been basically a bunch of half truths, to be honest with you, or
really
just
hard to
blatant
follow.
lies, or blatant lies.
Yeah.
You know, right? And I think it's gonna be hard to follow until we get to like episode like 15ish, because I think we just need more information. Because like honestly, I feel where we're at right now, we need an entire like history book of
Yeah, I feel like right now we are in a labyrinth and trying to find the way out of it. And once we do, that could be episode 15 or it could be episode 50. Who knows? And once we get to that point, we'll have a base understanding of what's going on finally. But right now, I
Right.
feel like we are not even having our hand held. We are trying to find a hand to hold.
We know we know the name of three gods.
We know the name of three gods, and we don't know who to trust. We don't know who is even real at this point, it seems like.
Yeah. So, I mean,
It's it's a bit, yeah.
that's the thing. It's like, yeah, we only know we only know those three gods. So that's kind of a problem. Of the of the seven shapers, we only know three of them. So once we
And
know
that's
at least those, we may have a little bit more, and then we're just gonna need more about the Sundered Houses before they were the Sundered Houses, and then we may
yeah.
have
And
an
on top
actual
of that, we
understanding of
have
what's
a
going
whole
on.
political environment that is being developed.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a slow burn, that's for sure. Um, but from here, I don't think we have anything really more to speak on here. I think this is really not going to have anything more until way later on, maybe until episode 8, maybe 9, depending on when we get back to the
Schemers?
schemers, yeah. Once we get back to the schemers, we'll get more information, but that may not be until 2 more episodes away because we already are pretty far away from that, like we've
True.
done 2 episodes of soldiers. We could get into the seekers next, and they could have 2 more episodes of seekers and not see the schemers for 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, because we won't have an episode. Oh, I'm assuming we won't have an episode to go through on this coming holiday. That's also
We'll
something to
see.
bring up. So there might be a bit of a delay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
But if you want to move on to the next section, we could get on into the aftermath of the wraith tree.
Well, I think I'm ready to move on.
Sweet. And we come back to where we left off last session, at the burning wraith tree, um, set on fire by Thimble and Cadigan to end the combat of episode 6. Um, and Wick is kind of in awe of what he's just done, uh, having no clue that he had this power within him. Um, as Thimble kind of goes off to loot the bodies, around the wraith tree, finding
And eat
gold,
them.
silver, copper. Well, no, Thimble didn't. That was Tyranny. Tyranny ate them.
Oh, sorry, my
Uh,
bad. That'd be good.
um, but Thimble also finds 2 unidentified potions, but it seems that they are made from the essence of fey creatures. Um, so I'm interested in what that's going to come to next. He's giving them a lot of interesting items back to back to back. And I'm curious to how this is all going to pan out at the end. um,
Because there's a kind of a thematic. I don't know how to explain it, but like he's so give and take and honors a nat 20.
oh,
Also,
yeah.
really honors a nat 1.
Mm-hmm.
But also, hey, you did decide to explore all these dead bodies. So here's some unidentified potions. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing?
Yeah, we'll see what
We'll find
happens with
out.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Um, but amongst this, they decide that they need to kind of set up to rest, because it's probably not safe to still be traveling in the dark. And they just kind of lit a giant beacon to their position, so anything in the area at least knows that something's going on over here. Um, so they decide that they're gonna get up into the trees and hunker down for the night. And the word shamblers is brought up by Thimble, saying that like we need to kind of hide from the shamblers to keep them get up off the forest floors, stay away from them. Which before this campaign, I had actually never really heard about shamblers. I might have and just didn't register it in a video game or something. But
I've heard of shamblers in
um,
a video game, and so my thought was that they're just kind of forgotten, uncontrolled undead. Like they're
and
not
yeah,
under the control of anything. They're just there. They're there to rot and
right.
eat.
And yeah, whenever I looked it up within D&D, what I found is that it's like basically a kind of a mindless undead creature that causes destruction until it is destroyed itself. And then that actually brings us to like they don't get a full rest in the trees. They only get a short rest because you're not able to really
Mm.
fully fall asleep whenever you're trying to stay on a branch. Um, but in the morning time, they notice that the forest is already healing itself. The wraith tree is gone, and they start to hear birds chirping in the forest. Not a lot, just some. Kind of showing the echoes of what they did. Um, whether it's actually for the better or worse, who knows? Because um, they could have just cleared it out for the better for the Fae and for the people of this area. But also, there are people of this area that could be searching for the Fae. And that's one of the things that kind of was shown from the potion from the night before was that is
Which
it
my thought is that uh, healing this area helps them, but it also, at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. It
yeah puts them at
also,
risk.
yeah, puts them at risk. Yeah, absolutely. So now, not only are they maybe a bit stronger, a bit more protected in a certain sense, but now they are more of a beacon because the area is stronger. This is a stark contrast from what has happened in, I guess, in recent history. So
Right.
now they are on watch.
hmm So now they're gonna have to like that's Brennan is really showing the ramifications of the actions. Uh, not like showing it, but showing the possibilities of what could happen. Is like this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing. You don't know. Like yes, in one way you could look at it, it's a good thing. There's another way you look at it, it could be a bad thing. It all depends on how the dice fall, like or how the dominoes land, and or whatever. Like it just all depends on how
Right.
everything.
Yes.
So yeah, so they move forward out and they start to see the breaking of the trees, where they see this small little village called Valo. It's a rural region in the kingdom of Timony. It has very like sparse roads, and what ones are there are not very well maintained. Uh, Traps coming out of the forest. They notice that there are traps coming out. Um, and that it's like obviously kind of set up for these shamblers that like it's the roads kind of funnel to this point, and it's obviously strung up for these sound traps to ring out when something crosses it. um it's meant to be not very tactical or hidden. It's meant for something that's just lumbering through here and just going, which kind of would be a shambler. Give them enough
Mhm.
time to get to safety, get out of town, find somewhere they could hide. Um, but amongst that, they also see these trees that have these little um, trinkets kind of hanging from them with two letters on either or a letter on either side. It's the way the people of this region, when they get married, they go and they hang this up on a tree, and it kind of is to symbolize
Mhm.
luck. Because these trees are called fey trees, and they're hung there to be like kind of a symbolism of luck of their marriage and everything. Kind of like how people take locks and put it on a bridge for their relationship or whatever here.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought the same thing. It's beautiful and poetic.
Yeah. Um, But then you also see that one of those trees it's on the other side of this fencing that kind of divides the forest from this little town village area. There's one of those fey trees that obviously had these little totems hanging off of it, has been cut off. And it kind of seems that someone has been desecrating these things. And whenever they notice that there's a newly built Candescent Creed temple in town, kind of tips off who's probably at hand here, due to the Candescent Creed's kind of tenets that demons, fae, and all things that are not human essentially are bad. And are not of the light, I should say. And we find out that all things that are not, that are like demons and stuff, they should snuff it out like a dying ember. And like we find out a little bit more of Wick's morals, that he doesn't believe any of this. He believes a lot of this is more symbolism, that it's meant to be like the demons are just the bad things in life, not specifically demons. And that if it like, I bet in their text it says like fae are tricksters and liars and stuff, and I bet it like it doesn't specifically say, it probably says it like the demons of the world you should snuff out like a dying ember. It probably says like the I don't know, the pixies of the world should be snuffed out like a, it probably is phrased in a way where it's like you could probably take that word more metaphorically as like the thieves, the tricksters, the liars, the whatever.
Yeah, the fae.
Well, like if they, I'm not saying that specifically the fae. I'm saying from Wick's perspective that it's not. It's more of a metaphor than literal. It's not literally saying the fae. It's just using it as a metaphoric construct. That it's not. We're not saying it's not racist. It's just saying it's trying to use that as a metaphor. You know?
I wasn't gonna say that, but I was about to say, it's like we're really trying not to say that it's racist.
Well, that's what Wick is trying to say essentially in this, is that he's trying to be like, no, like it's all metaphor. Like I don't think this is meant to be taken literally, and yes, people are taking it literally, but they shouldn't be. And I think that's what Wick is trying to say. And he's trying to take his family's his crappy family's awful thing that they've created, and he's trying to make it into this new positive thing. And it's interesting. But
definitely interesting, yes.
We'll see how that ends up going, because Thimble definitely is not having it. She sees straight through it. She's like, "No, you're racist. This is racist."
Oh yeah. She's about to be throwing rocks, literally.
Literally, yeah. But whenever to move on to that, to the House of Light where the Candescent Creed has set up, we meet Thalamian. However you pronounce his name. He is a nervous, yeah, whatever it is. He is a follower of the Candescent Creed. He's watching over the temple as the Lux, who is like the Creed's priest of that area, was summoned.
Was this the dude that took his hat off?
I cannot remember specifically a hat. He's the guy that basically collapsed to the ground and was like kissing Wick's hand, and Wick was like, "Dry me, please." And like,
yeah, I think he took his. So I think he took his hat off, and like once he realized who Wickander was, he took his hat off, and then like basically got on his knees and bowed, and kissed his hand.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I specifically remember him taking his hat off.
Yeah, I don't specifically remember that. But he was sitting there kissing Wick's hand, and then Wick was like, "Oh, can you dry this for me?" And continued on with
In typical Sam Riegel fashion too. Just like he didn't have to do that. He just like dry my hands.
yeah. I mean, it definitely fit Wick's character of being
It
kind of
fits the
like
character.
coddled.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And
Especially
then
after. Sorry, I'm getting way too into it.
no, you're good. And then I mean, it gets into where are we? He talks to him and finds out that the Lux had been summoned to Ardent by like the entirety of the Condescent Creed, and like thinks that all of this is a test, and starts to notice tyranny and is like freaked out by the demon, freaked out by
Mhm.
Thimble the fairy, because all of this is like not in like with what the Condescent Creed is supposed to believe
Like there
in.
seems to be a
Um,
moment to where he was even just like, "Wait, are you really Wiccander? Are you actually part of the Candescent Creed?"
yeah.
And then he re-explains himself. It's like, "Yes, I have converted a fairy. I have converted a demon. I am Wiccander, Halavan." And at that point, he's just like, "Yes, you are."
Yeah, and
And
just
then
kind
just
of
is really
yeah,
all about it.
fanboys hard. Um, but then Wick's like, can you get us some food and horses? And he's like, well, we have no horses because this is a very simple town, very small place. But I can get you
Here's some
food
bread.
and well specifically, he goes to go get the food and Wick is like, but no porridge. I can't take any more porridge. And he's like, oh, well, then here's some bread. Because it's like,
Yep.
obviously, he was going to bring bread and porridge.
He had porridge ready. Yeah.
Yep. So then they take the bread. Um, Thimble ends up leaving before everyone else, and Cadigan follows. Cadigan goes looking for a shepherd. And he talks to his name Tasker, who's a shepherd,
Tasker, yeah.
and yeah, and they have a conversation. He respects Cadigan and Thimble specifically because of the Fae, and Cadigan because he is obviously, if you can tame a wolf and you can converse with the Fae, you must be a respectable man. Um,
Remind me of something real quick though. Um, when Cadigan was talking, he said that he asked about a shepherd. There was a response given. I can't remember what it was, but
it
then
was
he
about the
talks to
Lux. Yeah.
Thimble or Lux or whatever, and he's just like, "When I asked about a shepherd, I meant literally. I'm literally looking for a shepherd."
Right, like he asked about the shepherd and the Tholmion, Tholmion, whatever. He said,
However you say that
yes,
name.
we have a Lux. It's which is the priest, but he's gone right now. He took it as like a
Oh,
metaphorical
looking for
shepherd,
the.
like a
Okay, I
shepherd
see.
of the followers, not a shepherd of the herd and of the
Okay,
literal
that
herd.
connects it for me now because
And
I
then he
didn't
went
get that
outside.
whenever I was listening to it. Okay, cool. And
Yeah,
then
and then he
so
went outside and above table was like, "Hey, I was literally asking about a shepherd. Do I see a shepherd out here in
like
this farming community?" And he's like,
like I
"Oh, you don't even
wasn't
have to roll
looking for
for
the
that." Yeah,
priest. I'm
yeah,
literally looking for a shepherd, like a
yeah, yeah,
shepherd.
yeah. He then makes that very
Okay, cool.
specific,
That
and then goes
connects it
talks
so
to.
much more for me now.
Yep, and then he goes and talks to Tasker, and they
Mhm.
get this kind of dialogue between them where Cadigan actually tells them that, hey, you don't have to worry too much about the forest anymore. You can go in there, just watch out during the nighttime because there's still like shamblers. But other than that, the undead wraith tree that's been taken care of, so you should be able to go in there a little bit more easily, but stay wary.
Oh, because
Um,
there was a specific sort of plant too that he was looking for.
right, there's a plant that he's looking for that sadly it seems has kind of for the most part died off in the forest. Tasker, it seems that he knows because there's so little of it, he knows where to look and how to look for it. So that information was at least good for him. Um, then this is where we find out that also before the Lux had left, um, Sid had at stayed in this little town, but before he could wake, because he was so exhausted, he pushed through the exhaustion to get through the forest before nightfall, and or through the nightfall, risking it to try and get, because he didn't want to sleep in the forest by himself. He pushed through and took the exhaustion, and then whenever he finally got to this town, he crashed in a, I don't remember
Is this
exactly where they said.
is this before, was it Nama, the holy woman?
No, that's, I think this
Yeah, that
is
one.
a mess up. This is a mess up.
Is it a mess up? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
what
that's a
happened
mess up.
there?
That's about Sid. That's about Sid.
Okay.
Sid was betrayed by the Lux. The Lux, that was what I was getting to, was the Lux
My bad. I'm very intent.
sold him out. The Lux sold him out, and then people came and arrested him while he was still asleep. Or, well, he was woken by being arrested. Um,
Right.
but then, yeah, so they were heading towards Gormalay, is what Tasker told him about. And then that's uh, so that's whenever like the rest of the group comes out of the church, the temple, and Thimble is sitting there throwing rocks at Wick as he's leaving the temple, and she like is just kind of angry at him because of like the blatant racism that is in the doctrine of his beliefs. And this is where we really get where he's trying to explain himself, saying like, no, I know that's the beliefs, but like we had a plan. I was supposed to be like tough and supposed to stick to the creed's beliefs, and then we were supposed to like stick that out. Sorry, Thimble, that you didn't stay with the act and you wanted to break free of that and leave. That's on you. Like, you do understand I just rebelled against my family. I don't want what they want. Like, Thimble has still, like, which is understandable because she is one of the people that is directly persecuted by the Candescent Creed, but she's not getting the point that, like, dude, I'm on your side. Like, I'm obviously here
Yeah,
with
and you
you.
also have Tyranny too, who's just like an actual demon.
Yeah, it's like obviously, like, I like her. I brought her along with me. I'm escaping with her. Obviously, we don't believe these things. Like, give me a cut me a break a little bit, you know? But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that'll all be part of the group's development, along with both of their individual character developments. Um, because I think this will be a like Wick realizing that, hey, my family's done a lot, and I'm gonna have to do a lot to prove I'm not on their side. And then I think
Right.
on Thimble's side, she's gonna have to come to the realization that just because somebody has certain blood doesn't mean they believe a certain way. And I think that's gonna partially be the group development, partially be their individual developments, and I mean, it'll come over time. But with that, Tyranny reminds them all that, hey, don't forget, Sid is our main priority right now. We need to get going. We can fix everything that the Candescent Creed has done later, but right now we don't have time for that. We need to go find Sid and save him, and then bring Casimir to justice. Like, which is
Right.
funny to
Because
hear
there's
from
a
Tyranny.
huge, yeah, there's a huge time crunch going on right now, which
They are a day
ironically, as
behind.
we will find out, uh, I would say we're not as far behind as probably some people would have thought listening to going into it,
Right,
because
because
we're
especially
coming up right onto it.
they think they're a day behind, but then yeah, here soon we'll find out that because he got arrested, that would like work somewhat in their favor, in
Right.
slowing his pursuit
And
again.
holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, unless do you have something from this section that you need to go into, or are you good to?
No, everything going forward is going to be quite a bit of a mind fuck.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into where we truly enter the King of Timony.
Yes, let's do it.
Uh, on the road to Ireland, we we get Brendan kind of gives us this description of all these like messenger dogs that kind of go on about uh, that kind of go throughout that druids use to kind of send messages throughout the kingdom is what it seems like. As this is a young kingdom, this is just kind of started. That the uh, the king that we will find out that took over Augustus, that we actually I don't know if we actually touched on earlier, that they were whenever they came into that last town, they heard all of the propaganda of the Candescent Creed talking about the tyrant king Augustus and all of that. Well, Augustus actually just came and like basically won a war to take over the rule of Timony. And so Timony is just kind of a young nation, and it's still using some what I feel was described as primitive um like messaging through these dogs. And that whenever the soldiers reach actually, this is where the preachers are stirring unrest. I am sorry. This is where we get to that. It wasn't in the previous town where that new temple was. It's in this new town of Ardent. When they come in, they see that these preachers are stirring unrest with the civilians, talking about a tyrant king and and that like trying to get the citizens to like stir this unrest. Um, and this is where I kind of have, because this is the Halavar preachers that are doing this, not the Halavar specifically, but the Candescent Creed. And I'm kind of curious if this is kind of in conjunction with the Taconuses to try and take over this kingdom, because like I'm curious if like is Augustus a part of the Taconuses? Like, is he a Taconus proxy? Is
I'm kind of thinking that because it's been mentioned multiple times whether the Taconuses and the Halavars are in cahoots, so to speak,
right.
in more or less words. So I'm thinking like there are people who believe so, there are people who don't believe so, but
Well,
the fact that there are people that even believe so just tells me that like if it's this enigma, maybe it is a behind the scenes sort of thing.
I mean, we even back in episode 2 where we get the Candescent Creed, we get Wick's grandmother talking about it. They hate the Taconuses. They hate that they're falling behind the Taconuses and that they're struggling for power with them. That's what leads me to believe that like either that yes, the Taconuses are either the ones that put Augustus into power, like they helped him lead this revolution, or that they're actively trying to re-overthrow the power again to take it over for themselves, because this is such a new nation. It's a great time to try and create this discourse and destruction. And
To
like
be able to put someone in power puts you in a
right.
position to take the power away from them.
Right, but I'm also curious of whether this is like if the Halovars and the Taconuses are working together on this, if it's one of these moments where it's like I use you till you are not no longer useful to me, or is this they are actively competing against each other to try and take superiority here? Um,
My thoughts are both think that they are using each other. They
that's
both
also
think that they are on the up and up.
that's that's
And I
also
think that's
another way of looking at
an
it too.
interesting thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good way. Is like it could be both at the same time. Is that they are actively using each other, trying to compete with each other. So I mean, like, there's just multiple ways this could be going, and I'm just curious about that. Um, but with that, Wick trying to, after what happened at this the small little village at the Candescent Creed temple, where Thimble, for whatever reason, kind of went out of left field and didn't go with the act. Um, they have now had a conversation again that I am going to try and flaunt the Candescent Creed and be the who I'm supposed to be just for our advantage. And like they kind of re-solidified the understanding that we are not who we're acting like right now. Like, please just be aware of that. So they take with that they take the King's Highway, which is the more reckless route, um, to get or is that after? That's after that night. Whenever they take the King's Highway to Sloke, but whenever they get to this town of Aaron Arderlin, um, they find a like the carriage that took them right.
Right. We didn't get the name of the carriage person. That they never even asked the name.
Yeah, I don't think they
But
did.
they
Yeah, that's
were in
a
a
good point.
yeah, yeah. They never even got the name. Never bothered to even ask, and that was even made very clear by Brennan. But they were able to sleep in the carriage with a bunch of apples.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever they
And
got to
during
the
that
town.
time,
Yep.
yeah, during that time, I believe it was Thimble that noticed the not quite total vision, but the uh, silhouette basically of a large dog out at a neighboring shrine.
Well, no, she
Right,
was able to see the actual dog. She fully was able to see what dog it was, that it was a Rox Mastiff. She fully was able to see that it's a rare dog that typically only rich and royalty have. So it was
and it's
obvious
used
that
to
this was
kill wolves, which is
typically.
scary for typically used to kill wolves, which was scary for Cadigan, at
Yes,
least in her
yes.
mind.
Well, I mean, you would think it would be kind of like off-putting at least. Like, I mean, maybe I'll have to watch Wolfric just in case because we don't want that thing getting the better of Wolfric just in case. Um,
Right. And this
but whenever they go
developed.
to investigate, well, Thimble wakes up Cadigan and convinces him to go investigate this this hound that just disappeared. And whenever they go to this little spot where the hound was, he tracks the footprints and it goes into the tavern and then leaves, going off towards uh um wow, Formulae. Um and so they go inside this little tavern that's there, and in this tavern they see this dog that's resting
Hmm.
on the like in front of the fireplace that has like this bluish fur or blue tinted fur, and the innkeeper, and those are the only two down in the like seating dining area of the tavern. um, but whenever they talk to the innkeeper, um, she said like talks about like, yeah, that's like, they ask about the mastiff, the Rox Mastiff, and the innkeeper is like, yeah, I saw it, that's like, that's the wolf, that's the king's dogs, like, yeah, they patrol the area. And it like kind of is like dismissive of their questions, just like, yeah, duh, like kind of like idiots, like that's common knowledge, you know. Um, but then Cadigan approaches the blue furred dog and tries to talk to it and finds out that it's actually some type of like druid dog or something.
Doesn't he go to do animal handling, speak with animals, and then? Sorry if I'm jumping ahead, and you already have this. But doesn't he go to do like speak with animals, and then before he even can finish casting it, doesn't this creature say something along the lines of like that is not needed in total
Well,
just
that,
common?
but also like, well, no, it was he went to talk, he went to cast speak with animals, and then it the in Orcish the dog says shit. Never mind that. Um,
Never mind that. That's what it was.
yeah, never mind that.
Shit. Never mind that.
And he, because like Cadigan is, he's not familiar with magic, or he's crude with magic, and so like
Mhm.
with what little he knows of it and what he's used speak with animals, it's typically very primal replies like I've been here, smelled that, saw this, ate this, hissed
Yes.
here,
Yes.
whatever. And this dog was not that. This was very formal greeting almost. And um they had a full conversation with this dog. We find out that the other mastiff was named Hawkins. They're all royal druids for the king Augustus. Uh, they figure out that the group upstairs is guests of the new barons, who is Gavindale, Casimir. Um, um, she the Dame Morgaine, which is the name of the dog that we have that Cadigan is talking to.
Just such a cool
Um,
name.
yeah, dope name.
Day.
Yeah, and she has heard of rumors of a new baron that is a criminal from the south. Thimble and Cadigan kind of confirm that, saying that he rides with crows and that he's a traitor. And they kind of exchange a little more information, but none of it's like pertinent. Um, whilst then before, like right before Thimble comes down and talks a little bit to Dane Morgaine, Thimble goes up and finds out that there is a vassal house of Draconis upstairs, and it seems that they are right on the tail of everything, of everything that's about to happen. They have just caught up, and they are right on time. Um, they didn't search long enough to find whether Sid is here around, or if he has somehow been captured by someone else and taken with that group. Um,
Mm.
but Dane Morgaine also informs them that like basically says like I hope you find who you're looking for. I hope you find him and you save him. If I'm able to do anything, I will do my best to do that. Amongst other things, um, they move out of the tavern with the soup, or not the soup but the stew, but because they are not fully trusting of everything that's happened here, they dump out the soups or the stews and put them at the door, and right as they're walking away, Dane Morgaine comes out for one last uh, second to tell them, hey, if you run into Hawkins, please give him the benefit of just a conversation, because he is not one to attack without at least speaking first, and you might be able to come to an understanding with him if you actually like try to talk to him. And
Yeah, everything that went down in that whole interaction makes me want to trust um, Dame Morgaine and what was the lady's name?
I don't think we got a name for the bar or for the innkeeper. I think it was just the
Oh, we
innkeeper.
did. But anyway, the innkeeper, yeah. Everything leads me to trust them, but I'm also impressed with Cadigan's just distrust to just like, yeah, I'm pouring the soup out.
It's like, yeah, that was great
Like,
information,
that
and I'm
could have
happy that
been
we
a
had that in.
great thing. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, then, yeah, so yeah, they pour out the soup. They go to the rest of the group, kind of inform them of what's just kind of unfolded, and they all get their rest. Um, Whenever they leave out for the next morning, and like they get to Sloke and they arrive at the Baron's village. A storm is rolling in overhead, and they kind of come into kind of the area where like the the Casimir has now been presented the Baron of, become the Baron. It is this kind of desolate little area that has like just
The way
terrible.
I pictured it was, and especially as the emotions arise later on, I picture it as kind of a little hovel of like maybe like a valley with a few acres, maybe, of like kind of farmland sort of deal, and then maybe some, living area, and then after that it goes on to. It sounded like it was like there's like steep slopes. So then up above there is the castle, and then maybe down below in a valley there is maybe like farmland, and then once again up above there is maybe some like houses and stuff. And it sounds like what we're used to, what we would normally think of a castle would be something massive, but this is just a large house
Yeah, like
with
everything
maybe
else,
barricades.
I feel like everything else is made out of like lower end materials, whereas this like castle that Casimir is now housing, or is
Yeah.
now inhabiting, is more like higher in stone materials, but it's tiny. And then, like, as it's described, one wall is fully caved in. So now he's like also putting like having to like repair his home. So like he
Yeah,
was
and
not
it
given a good deal whatsoever. He was told, "Hey, we'll make you a baron and we'll give you lands." We didn't tell you
yeah,
what
and
lands we
it
were going to
was
give
it
you,
was said
idiot.
that the what I'm blanking out on the town. What's the big town with the
dol-makjar? Is that what you're talking about?
dol-makjar? Maybe at some point it was said that this castle is smaller than the biggest
Oh,
houses.
in the rookery,
Yeah,
the neighborhood that Hal lives in. Yeah, that like
yeah, like
it's
this
about
castle is
the same
smaller than these
size.
houses,
Yeah, it's about the
or
same size as
or
some of the
the same
houses.
size.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which I mean is
so
still
that
not
that
big
says a
because
lot.
the rookery is a low end like area.
Right. Yeah. So that says a lot, and that it explains why he's so pissed and so much losing his sanity.
Yeah, especially we'll see here soon. Um, when they come in to kind of try and scope out what's going on, they see that the they kind of come up to the exchange essentially between the Draconuses and the new Lord Sloke,
Yeah,
Casimir.
the new Baron, right?
Yeah, and Casimir has seemed to become a lot like very full of himself with his new title because he seems like he can bite the hand that feeds him still. Because as they give him the deed and everything, it's just like, all right, well, have fun with your new life, be happy with it, bye. And he starts raising his voice and getting angry, and he ends up actually throwing a rock at the Draconuses, and that ends up pissing them off enough to where they look at over at Lord Saramai, the vassal house of Draconis, and was like, teach him a lesson, go. And
Yeah, and that was after a lot of fuck yous coming
yeah.
from Casimir, which
Oh
was
yeah, I
like,
mean it was
you are very, very, very angry, very impatient. And these people are just like, hmm, you do seem angry and impatient. Teach him a lesson.
yeah,
Like,
and
so above him.
yeah. It's like, "Oh, you don't like our generosity? Well, you're not going to like what comes next.
Yeah.
Go." And
We'll prove it too.
yeah, and the Lord Saramai literally forces him to the ground, yanks his pants down, and then pulls his own sword out and just starts taking the flat of the blade and basically spanking this man with his blade. And as Brennan uh, describes that, because like even though it's the flat of the blade, he's hitting him so hard with it that it's still the impression of the blade going into his butt cheeks is still
Still
cutting.
cutting in, yeah.
So he is still taking like lacerations. Um,
And this is in front of his men and his people that he has tried to garner some sort of lordship over, and now
yeah,
he's being
some
spanked.
respect. Yeah, and then as once he finishes on the way up, Lord Saramai kicks him in the head and says, "Go on, that's your lord. Treat him with respect. Don't you want to follow him? Get him up. Come
Oh
on."
yeah, turns to the
And
other knights as this badass knight, probably lording over the other knights themselves, and says, "Go on. This is your lord, right? Respect him. Disregard the fact that I just spanked him, your lord, but go ahead, respect him, follow him."
yep,
Such an insult.
very much so. And it's so much like he's like, which with where Casimir is, it just amplifies his like mental insanity that he's like falling into. That like he gets so angry that he's like double all the taxes, because like he has this destroyed hovel of a home, he has this crappy land that he has, and now he's just been spanked by a sword and disrespected in front of his men. He's over it. He's gonna lay down the law. He's doubling. He says, pull everyone out of their houses. We're doubling the taxes, and that's where we come back to our group, and they start to talk about how they could, what they need to do to get to make things happen, and they decide. They finally kind of come down to, okay, Sid is probably fairly okay right now, because he is like, Dane Morgaine knows the situation, and hopefully we can trust her to kind of either fend things off, slow things down, or maybe even set him free.
Like
Either
they said in the
way,
cooldown, right?
right, exactly. We can tend to that here soon.
Mhm.
Let's get our revenge. Let's get done with Casimir, and then let's take this next step. And
Yeah, I feel like was it Usek and then Dame Morgaine? Uh, there was definitely when, I'm sorry if you already touched on this, but when she kind of gave that look, like that side eye towards Dame
oh, that,
at the
yeah.
mention of Sid. Yeah, I really do think that that was a telling thing right there. Was like, things are maybe going a little bit faster than what we anticipated, but also I'm kind of looking at you
Well,
for like,
so
is there a reaction?
are you talking about the back at the tavern with the uh, bar keep lady?
Yeah, yeah. I went back a little
Well,
bit.
they didn't bring up
Luna
Sid
theater, right?
to her. They didn't bring up Sid to the tavern keep. They brought it up to the girl, and whenever she darted over, they darted over when they brought up the hounds of the king. Whenever they brought up
Oh
the rock
yes,
hound that
okay,
came in
yeah.
and out, that's whenever she because they brought up the king's hound, like trying to pry more into it. She darted over to that hound because that is also one of the hounds of the king. That's what that was about. Is like it
Wasn't
was
Sid mentioned and then Was there a
Not until they had already started
reaction to
talking
Sid?
to Dane. Not until after they started talking to Dane Morgaine, and that was they
Okay.
hadn't. Dane Morgaine had, from all what it seemed like there was, they had yet to arrest him. So it seems that what it looked like to me is a different group arrested Sid, took it up to what's this town called? Sloke. Took him up to Sloke
Right.
and met with the Taconuses up there. The Taconuses then took him and held him prisoner. They went and had their meeting with separately, left him somewhere, went and had their meeting with Casimir, and then came back, took him, and probably went back to that tavern with Dane Morgaine. And that's probably how the kind of order of things played out there. And probably the Chaconuses, Dane Morgaine, and Sid are all in the same place right now. Where that is, I'm not 100% sure. That could be the tavern, that could be on the road. But the Chaconuses said it's come to our attention that he has no more need here, and he's going to be taken somewhere else. Where that is, we don't know, but we'll probably find out as soon as whatever happens to Casimir wraps up.
Yeah. Well, we find out that Dosset is probably a badass.
Who?
Dosset?
Dosset?
Isn't that the one? Sorry, maybe I
Oh.
jumped ahead a little bit too much,
Okay.
but after
Dosset Taconis, gotcha.
yeah.
What did he
just
do?
the fact that, like, without even even a notion, that's where what's the names? Casimir just starts choking. Like, Dosset has some sort of ability. That was Dosset, right?
I think that was Univir. I think it was Univir.
Was Univir the one that did that?
The girl with the tattooed teeth on her lower lip, and yeah.
Is that the one? I thought it was Dosset.
No, I think that was Univir.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's Univir, Univir's scary.
I
then
think.
Just yeah, you're probably right, but yeah, Univir,
from what it seems like is that Dosset is kind of the political head of the group. Univir is kind of the magical strength, and then the vassal house, Saramai, Lord Saramai, is kind of like the muscle.
Well, I wanted to say one thing because we know that Brennan has already said that I'm going to be very honest with you. Basically, he said, "I'll kill you if I can." You know,
or if
you
walk into the wrong place at the wrong time,
if you fuck with the wrong person, you're going to die. I think if Univir is the one who was just able to just start choking without even really a notion, without a movement or anything, just start choking Casimir to the point to where he's like almost spitting out blood. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you could easily kill him. She could easily just, sort of deal. It seems like. So
that all
the party that we are with right now, right? So if the party was to fuck with Casimir, or not Casimir, Univir, it could be just a total party kill. It could be a TPK.
Could be. I don't see it totally that way, because I just, with how the power scaling of this verse would have to go, I think if they would have picked a fight with this group, they may have had a chance. Just because I think that Lord Taconis, what's his name?
Brennan.
No, yeah, no. Octus's dad, whatever his Octus's dad.
I forget.
He has to be more powerful than Univir. Has to be. I cannot believe anything else.
True.
And
I see what you're getting at.
I believe Casimir is just a low level thug. I believe he's probably literally like a level 2. So I want to say what this probably was a saving throw, like a constitution wisdom saving throw thing, spell, that it didn't take much to fail it. And for him, because he's weak. I could be
Right.
wrong
I
about
understand.
this, but that would be my assumption, and I believe this would have been a dangerous thing because there is a lot of people here. Because there was 6 knights, 8 men at arms, and then three
Right.
crow keepers. So like that's where the danger comes from, not so much from Univir. I don't believe. I could be wrong about that, and we could find that out later that she's actually a level 20 sorcerer or some shit. But I believe that to not be true. I think the danger came from the other, what, 17 people that were there. So I think that's where that would have been a dangerous
I
combat.
could see that as well.
But letting them leave was smart so that they could then infiltrate, and which was a hilarious thing. That was like, I'm gonna be a nurse and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna
With
trick them into
big
letting me in there.
tits.
Yeah, Tyranny is just perfect character right there. Um,
She was wonderful. Her and Sam Riegel together are just it's working out.
yeah, it really is because it's kind of a perfect combination. Two people that are just so pure opposites coming together and
Hmm.
having kind of like this, like, again, opposite mindsets on the same idea, and it's great.
Yeah. I
um
love the idea of just like, hey, are you gonna eat that? She's like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, the body. It's just like, well, I'm a follower of the light. Of course I wouldn't eat that. It's like, well, I'm a demon. I would.
yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Yup. But then we get that, like, this kind of Tyranny and Wick are going to come and present themselves and like embrace this creed identity to try and hopefully like foster some type of like goodwill so that maybe they would like have an in to get in there and maybe see what's going on. um and then the Cadigan, Thimble and Teo are gonna like kind of scout a different way. I think Thimble took the lead and went through the like crumbled wall to try and like
Right. Yeah.
sneak in. And whenever they get in, whenever, well, not whenever they get in so much, but whenever Wick and Tyranny like kind of knock on the door, they're met with Sir Gully Breeches.
Sir Golly Breeches. The
Yep.
name it cracks me up.
Yeah, we're starting to get into Brennan's weird name pulls. Um, but he seems to be kind of. I mean, if Casimir is the Baron, then oh Lord help us, what his underlings are gonna be. They're just a bunch of idiots
Mhm.
that are just. It's like giving a 4-year-old becoming a knight. It's like, I'm a knight and you've got to listen to me. Like, I can do whatever
And
I
he
want
was
and you've
like
got to.
that too. And I love that. It's
Exactly.
like, it's Sir Golly Breeches. I'm a knight. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
exactly.
We're moving on from the conversation. It's like, I'm a knight. Like, yes, we heard you.
Oh, we get it. We get it. It's almost, and I hate to bring him up, but it's almost, I'm Tiberius Stormwind from
Oh,
Draconia.
goodness. Yes. I just need everyone to know this.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Um, but in a very needed way, like in a very, like, this is a very, like, comic relief moment after a very fucked up situation just happened in front of
Right.
us.
And
But
then
they're like,
after this, we have a series of wonderful rolls.
Oh yeah, beautiful roles, because we have a moment where they have to charm him to kind of influence him to like, hey, we're just here to help because they messed up and said, hey, we saw that he got injured, and they're like, you saw that? You were spying on us? Well, arrest
Oh
them.
yes, no, I love that part because in the cooldown, Brennan says it. Sorry if I'm talking over you, but
No, you're
that
good. You're
part
good.
really spoke to me immediately as it happened, even before the cooldown. I'm like, "What are you doing?" It's like you're just ousting yourself right now. You're just saying, it's like, "Oh, you somehow were able to view this in the castle as the Lord is being spanked, traitor, some sort of insurgent. Like you are obviously not supposed to be here." It's like,
A
oh, but
spy.
yeah, and we let you know. Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
So
Doctor
then,
Finger.
yeah. Yep, Dr. Finger. And Lord, yeah, and he just comes out with Lord Wickander, like he. But that's yeah. So they do charm person and I believe suggestion to try and calm things over to be like, no, we're here to help. We just want to help the Lord Baron. Um, and so he's like, oh, okay, and takes him on back, and again had to have some more beautiful roles to convince
Yeah.
Casimir that why would Wickander Halavar come to this shithole to help me? Well, after like I think it wasn't it a nat 20?
Oh, I can't remember the roles, but I there were
No, it was
so
a 20.
many
So
beautiful roles
no, what it
back to
was
back
he said it's a this is going I'm going to tell you above the table. You need a 25 to get him to
because he
believe
lowered
you.
it from a 30, right?
I can't remember exactly, but
One
he
of
said
them
you
he
have to have a
lowered from a
25
30, but then
and right. And he said and whenever whenever Wick made his roll, he rolled exactly a
it was like a
25.
19 plus a 6. Yeah.
Yep. And which then made it towards like finally I'm getting some respect around here as the
Yes, the
Baron.
respect of it.
It was hilarious.
For the
Just
wine.
yep, and he just gets excited, starts pouring wine for everybody, even though Wick's like, no, I'm good, I don't need that.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
But
actually, of course, he's just like, oh, actually, I don't drink. It's like, you. All right.
yep, and yeah, and we also something I forgot to mention is that we noticed that Casimir is in this like this state of like he hasn't been sleeping, he hasn't been eating well, he's just kind of in this like state of like almost near psychosis. And
Yeah, he's like in a manic state right now
yeah, and
because
I
he
think
was
this
also
is
like
what
talking
go ahead.
in a way. He's just like, all right, cool. Yeah, yeah. You're with me. So you're ready to go in. And like, yeah, we're going to take him down and you're going to be by my side. Like, he seems to be just that manic right now.
Like automatically scheming, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what holds for whenever we get into this next episode, because like we're just going to have like or not the next episode but the next soldiers episode I should more specifically say, because I doubt we're getting
Next
a
table.
third. Yeah, I doubt we're gonna get a third episode of soldiers, so I bet we're gonna get probably either a split
Steamers.
table of the schemers and the seekers, or we're gonna get one or the other.
I'm going to throw my vote or my guess, my bet out there that it's going to be focused on the Seekers.
Okay, why do you
Just
think that?
throwing my bet out there. Because we've had a lot of information drop lately. And so now I'm thinking I just personally, I think this would be a good point to um, have some exploration, have some a little bit
Also,
more of a deep dive. I'm just throwing
we've
it out.
gotten we've also been touching on the Taconuses a lot, so it would make sense to go over to like further the story and the lore of the Taconuses, and go hop over to the Seekers with our Octus Taconus, where they're heading to find more information on what's going on between the Royce family and the Draconis family. So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
that's a
Yeah.
good assumption that that could be the path they go down. But they could feel like, hey, we've spent a lot of time talking about the Taconuses. Let's spend some time on the schemers for a while. Let's build that side of the world out some more. That could be the way they go and build out like the
Hmm.
Cormorant family and all of that, the Pentevrel and the museum and really building out all of what's going on in dol-makjar. Um,
I could see that. Yeah.
so I mean I see it. I could see both happening. I lean more
I
towards the
could see
Seekers
both
myself.
happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I truly, I'm with you. I lean more towards the Seekers myself just because I feel like it feels more fluid to go that direction. And I feel like in those sessions, we'll find out some information that's pertinent to the schemers. And then the next table would be the schemers. And I
Right.
believe that's how that's going to kind of flow as well. But I could also
So
see us
far, the
getting a
way that I
split
feel
table.
that this is going is this is not a lighthearted, short, you know, fan fiction thing that's going on right now. Like this is we are building up three different campaigns simultaneously with politics and religion and culture. Like this is going to be a long going thing.
Oh, yeah.
So you might think that like you could do, I don't know, you could do 10 sessions of just the schemers and think, wow, haven't we been focusing on them a little bit too much? It's like, no, this is 5% of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm excited. It's gonna be amazing
Brennan
to
is a
see what.
madman.
Yeah, and I mean, like you have to think we're in episode 7 and we still are at level 3, which I mean makes sense
Still
because
at level 3.
we have three different tables,
And
but still,
we're still name dropping too. We're
yeah,
still figuring out who's who and what's what and how the world works. And we're on episode 7,
yep,
which is
exactly.
not unheard of, but it's also like in the way that it's happening. It's like, I am trying to keep up. And it's only episode 7. We're only level 3, and I'm trying to keep up.
Right. Well, on that, do you have anything more we need to talk about here? Because I figured we could move on to announcements if we're done with.
I think I have expressed everything that I want to. Also, I
Yep,
love the
same.
fact that I think your name's Emily, right? Has said that Dr. Finger will be a reoccurring character. So I'm
Oh,
excited for that.
Whitney.
Yeah, Whitney. Why did I call her Emily? Whitney, yes. Yeah, Dr. Finger is going to be a reoccurring character. So I'm excited for that too. That makes me happy
Right.
because
Yeah.
that was just
Same.
the accent that she gave to that kind of
The
came and
very
gone and came and gone.
the very
So,
uh Fran
oh, yeah, the
from
very Fran, but then she also did
the nanny.
like the opposite of uh Roger's bunny.
Oh,
You
oh,
know what I'm talking about?
yeah, Roger Rabbit and
Roger Rabbit, yeah. Roger Rabbit. But she
yeah,
did the whole please. I was like,
Lola
oh,
Bunny,
that's
Lola Bunny. Yep.
no,
Um,
no.
is it not Lola?
Wait, what? Is that what it is? No, 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 no. Lola Bunny is the from Bunny Rabbit, right? We're talking about
Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit. Yes, yes. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, clip that. Cut that out. But I love that how she's doing a Jessica Rabbit, but she was over there going, please. It's like, oh, I don't know. That
Yep.
made my heart jump. I was like, I fucking love her character. I
Oh
love
yeah.
Whitney and I love Sam and how they are meshing so well
Oh
together.
yeah.
It's
They're.
just hilarious to me.
Oh yeah. It's great.
But
Um.
other than fanboying on that real quick, yeah, that's all I got.
Sweet. So moving over to announcements. With this next week, we kind of touched on it. We don't know if they're going to be doing an off week, if they're going to be doing like a one shot for Thanksgiving, what they're going to be doing. But with that, we are going to kind of be playing it by ear for this next video. We both have talked about it. We both believe we should be good to go as long as nothing comes up for next week if they do drop something. But on the other hand of that, we've been talking about doing a goal video where if we reach this many likes or whatever, then we're gonna do this type of video. And I think we've kind of decided on our first one we want to go with. It's a fairly low goal. It's pretty easy. Just wanting to try and spread our name a little bit more and get more people into our recovery group, like we always say. So our first goal is 100 subscribers. Once the channel hits 100 subscribers, we will be working on a full lore breakdown, like the world, not so much the characters. It will touch on some of the characters here and there, as a few of the characters do actively touch the lore. Valus being immortal and Belair actively killing one of the gods. We're going to touch on
So
some of them.
hopefully, some of the questions that you would have about like where did this culture come from, why do we know this thing, and all of that. So religion and culture and history is hopefully something that we can break down for ourselves and for you, so that we can touch more on everything that's going on in campaign 4.
Yeah. So I mean, once we hit that 100 subscribers, we'll hopefully within like a week or two of hitting that, we will pump out a video about this. It probably won't be on our normal release day of Monday. It'll probably be something like a Wednesday or Friday or something like that. But help us get there, and we'll do more. And as we grow, we'll continue to do more of these goal-based videos. And as we grow, we'll do more and more. It's just until we grow more, we don't have the resources or time to continue to create more videos. As we are
Right, but if we hit
basically,
100 subs, we will swan dive into a full lore breakdown.
oh yeah, for sure. But past that, we're always trying to put this out there. We have our actual play podcast, The Ashen Realm. We post every other Friday. We did take a off week last week, just because here soon we're getting into holiday season. We're not going to be as frequent on being able to meet up with our group. So I wanted to give us a little bit more buffer on that. But that's every other Friday, and if you're watching the day of this when this release, it'll be this Friday when the next video releases. But past that, I don't think we have anything else going forward. Just please. Oh, we do have a Reddit channel. We do have a Reddit page. It's literally just r/Adventurers Anonymous. I put all of our posts there. Everyone is welcome to post there. Just be kind, polite, and we're trying to build a community. So if you're more than welcome to come and interact with us over there. I'll be reading the posts, some of the posts on this channel from there. I'll be reading a lot of the comments on our stuff from now on, just to kind of build more of a community here. Make it more interactive with you guys. But you got anything else for us, Gigas?
I'm happy for anyone who is actually sticking with us so far. I hope that we are doing well. All your feedback, all your criticism, your critique is fantastic, and I also really hope that you're enjoying our actual play podcast with Ashen Realm right now. And I hope you're enjoying Karusted Haidorim and every other character as well, too. I'm going to name drop myself in that one. And please let us know any little twists and feedback and all of that to just like, I don't know, literally anything at this point. We just want to hear from you.
Any feedback. We want to hear from you guys.
Yeah. So with that, until next time, keep your rolls high, your hearts full, and as always, keep talking that crit.
See you guys.